Good morning to everybody, all our brothers and sisters in Canada, Latin America, in United States. Good afternoon to everybody, those are in entire Europe, in the different countries, in the entire continent. And at the same time, early evening, wishing everybody namaskar, vanakkam, namaskaran, salam alaikum. Those are in India. It's a 7 p.m. right over here by Indian Standard Time. It's a little early evening as far as Middle East is concerned and a couple of other neighboring countries, Central Asia. I'm sure you're enjoying your cup of tea and at the same time you're taking care of your health and your wellness as well. As long as you are mentally fit and you're physically fit, you can take care of others as well. Please remain happy and remain well so that you can take care of yourself, your family, your relatives, your neighbors, your community, your society, your civilization, and globe as a whole. Because all of us as human beings, we are together in this COVID-19 lockdown period. People, those are in Southeast Asia, a very hearty welcome to all of you, right from Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Brunei, and of course, a couple of other countries. Bahrain, Geeta Chopra ji, you and your husband, both of you, very hearty welcome for joining us this evening over here in this program. While extending this hearty welcome to each one of you, let me share it's yet another evening, wonderful evening, meaningful evening, beautiful evening, positive evening, and it's coming with lots of new thoughts, creativity, innovation, research, and a long time experience with the education ecosystem. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I extend a very hearty welcome to my three distinguished guests this evening, Madam Lata Vaidyanathanji, she's a former principal from the Modern School. A very hearty welcome to her. We have got Dr. Ashok Pandey, the director of the Alcon Group of Schools. A very hearty welcome to him as well. And Dr. R.D. Mohan, founder, Kalpavriksha Guru. We extend him also a very hearty welcome. Now, ladies and gentlemen, every day we have a lot of new people being added up through the Facebook, through the YouTube, through the watch party, through the Twitter, and whatever social medias you have got. I'm so grateful to all my advisors and presidents in the different countries of ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry. All of you together are giving us so much of support. We are proud of you and we send you our greetings and salutations from India. You're doing remarkable job, commendable job, and we salute you right from here. Keep doing good job, keep taking care of people, keep connecting more and more people, keep getting more and more people in this network because the theme of this particular program and webinar is making education relevant. आइए शिक्षा को प्रासंगिक बनाएं. And there we will talk about life management skills also. It's a global confluence of educators, innovators, technocrats, research experts, and of course, the others, those are directly and indirectly associated with the entire education system. All the stakeholders are listed over here. I'm not going to read them out, but the focus is youth and focus is how to make education more learning centric. That is the focus, what we are taking in this entire program. So ladies and gentlemen, let me just move ahead. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, more than 850 million children and youth, roughly half of the world's student population, they are at present away from their schools, colleges, institutions, universities, wherever they were, they are at present away. They are locked. They are with their parents. And whatsoever music and scintillating notes were being taken by educators earlier in their schools, colleges, and institutions, that music, that rhythm is now going on at the respective homes. Parents must be realizing how much efforts educators have to put in to give a quality education and to give the quality skills and the competencies to your children. So we are partnered in this journey, parents, youth, and educators. So let's move ahead. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Sir Ken Robinson, whom whenever I heard, I have met, I have discussed, I always learned from him what is the purpose of education? What kind of an education? Why do we have education? Why somebody should go to school, college, institution, and polytechnic? The purpose of education, when we take the Western school of thought, is there are four purposes of education. Economic purpose, that means every parent is looking forward to, my child, when will you complete your studies? Start earning, do part-time job, whatever you can. But as long as you have an economic activity, we are going to be happy. So economic activity is given the first preference. Second is social, third is cultural, and fourth, of course, is personal. Every child has a right. Why do I study this particular subject? Why do I go through this particular curriculum? When we talk about Indian perspective, it comes over here, Vasudev Kutumbakam. When I talk about this, ladies and gentlemen, the first priority which we give in our heritage, that is our cultural values, our culture. We do not hold economic activity as the top priority, which is otherwise given rest of the world. So culture, social, then comes the economic, and of course, personal purpose is always there. Why should I study arts or commerce or science, medical or non-medical? Now, during this lockdown COVID-19, how technology is being used by educators to impart education. We are coming through TV channels, community radios, mobile phones, electronic gadgets. Every teacher, every educator, every principal, whosoever is directly or indirectly associated with the education ecosystem is trying their level best how to give the best during this particular lockdown period. And ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of challenges. There are a lot of roads which are bumpy, but we are positive people. We'll find the way. We'll build our own bridges. We'll build our own roads and we'll move ahead. That is the way we are going ahead. Those who have joined us today, we wish to share with you over here who are the stakeholders and what could be the further innovative, creative, and the pragmatic approach to impart need-based education today. 100% relevance to present times. It has to be practical. Education has to be research and creativity based. It has to be corporate interface academia, because unless we don't involve the corporate, whatsoever we are imparting, that will not hold relevance. And that's why we always say skills gaps. That means children, those are coming from school, colleges, institutions, universities. There's a skills gaps. That's what we talk about. Then comes the adaptation of technology. Whether we like it or not, we got to adopt it. We have to go with the technology because it's becoming a norm now. It will be a new norm in education. We cannot get back to what it used to be in January and February. Now there will be a new parameters, new norms, new platforms, new pedagogy, and we got to work out with new andragogy. Okay. Culture and value-based education, very, very important. If you see the AICT website, there's a moral values and there's an induction program. There's a 6-week program. I would like to congratulate Professor Anil Sastra-Buddhiji, Dr. Puniaji, and the entire team of AICT. They are doing commendable job as far as the education imparting, and the induction program is there. Otherwise, the children coming after 12th class to an engineering program, they were so innocent. They didn't know how to set up and how to adjust into the new surrounding and new education system. We got to give mental robustness. This is very important, ladies and gentlemen. With education, unless we don't give our children mental toughness, and this is something very, very interesting. There's a gentleman, Indian, NRI, our friend. He's a part of our forum. His name is, if you see he is Tim Grover. He's abroad. He is in America, the coach for Michael Jordan. And he says, ladies and gentlemen, we devote more time on our body. We always make our muscles. We build packs, but we do not devote time on the muscles of our brain. The positive dopamine which has to come from there, and you got to be mentally robust. Of course, I'm sure Dr. Adi Mohan is going to touch somewhere today onto neuro-linguistic programming and positivity and what all has to come on. I myself did 2 programs abroad, so that is next to my heart. We would try and work out, because Tony Robbins, when he says fire on the walk, how it is possible, how human beings can do, a couple of things on that. And finally, we focus on youth and the life management skills. It is not surviving skills. It is not only earning skills, but it is life management skills. जीवन का निर्वाह कैसे करना है, जीवन को कैसे गुजारना है, जीवन को आगे कैसे लेके चलना है. That part is very important. Nowadays, I have got a time which I never got before. For the last 2.5 months, itna literature मैंने पढ़ा, so many books I have read, and so many research scholar studies I have gone on to Takshila, Nalanda, and of course other universities. Can you believe it? This is same India, this is same country, this is same civilization where we built world's first residential university, where we had 10,000 students and 2,000 acharyas. Once again, India has to become Vishwa Guru. अगर विश्व गुरु बनना है भारत, तो भारत का सम्मान करना पड़ेगा, और भारत का सम्मान का मतलब है टीचर का सम्मान करना पड़ेगा. Unless we do not give that glory, that respect of Acharya once again. And मैं आजकल बहुत ज्यादा जब से उनसे मिला हूं, इतना प्रभावित हूं. आप भी उन्हें मिलिए, आप भी उन्हें सुनिए. वो रोज आते हैं और रोज बहुत सारी बातचीत करते हैं. उनका नाम है मुकुल कनितकर जी, आदरणीय मुकुल कनितकर जी, और ये है भारतीय शिक्षा मंडल. उनका आप फेसबुक पर जाइए, लाइव देखिए, उनके प्रोग्राम्स को देखिए. मुकुल कनितकर जी, उनकी किताब पिछले दिनों में मैंने पढ़ी जो उन्होंने विवेकानंद पर लिखी है. 29 जुलाई को 900 vice chancellors got together in the auditorium with the HRD Minister of India in AICT compound, and in that auditorium, the program which was organized, I was a part of that particular program and process. What a aura, and what an education empowerment, and what a deliberation and discussion. भारत को दोबारा से विश्व गुरु बनना है. Those are first, those are abroad, those NRIs, my brothers, sisters, those are connected with us on this platform, and others, those are watching. और इंडिया में भी जो टीचर हैं, once again, all of us in the education system have to give a great respect to our educators, our teachers, our principals, everybody. And at the same time, students, the youth have to be part of central theme. Monday to Friday, we talk to you on education empowerment. Every Monday to Friday, ये जर्नी 5 जून को शुरू हुई है वर्ल्ड एनवायरनमेंट डे पर, और ये 15 अगस्त तक चलेगी, भारत के स्वतंत्रता दिवस तक. इस जर्नी के अंदर, इस पात्र में बहुत सारे लोगों की हवन कुंड में सामग्री आ रही है, बहुत सारे लोगों का योगदान आ रहा है. तो मंडे टू फ्राइडे we talk about education, but every Saturday 7 to 8 p.m. same time, we bring Ayurveda for the global witness. Don't forget to join us. You will have 6 international experts on Ayurveda, yoga, meditation, naturopathy, herbals, and with that, nutrition. You require organic food. अपने घर में फूल मत उगाइए, अब वो सब्जियां उगाइए कि जिससे जीवन का निर्वाह हो सके. That is more important. So health, happiness, humor, holistic living through education is very important. Don't forget to join us on 20th of June for coming Saturday on the Zoom also, and on the Facebook and YouTube also, where we will be talking about wellness therapies. Okay. 21st of June, International Day of Yoga. We are proud of our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. He got this program inducted, and as a part of the world celebration for the wellness, our mental, our mind, our body, our spirit, everything got to have a uniformity. And our immediate past president of the ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry, Professor Satendra Dhiman, the recipient of the Best Management Teacher Award in America. He will be coming on 21st, International Yoga Day, and he is going to talk to us on harnessing well-being of educators through Buddhist psychology. Do join us on Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m., where we get expertise. Lot of people from world over are coming and joining us. extending you a very hearty welcome to be a part of this journey and this program. Now, ladies and gentlemen, 5th of June, ICSI started Making Education Relevant campaign. The thought was already in mind for quite some time. We were doing the homework. We had carried out a lot of research. We discussed with our international speakers and policymakers world over that how to make education relevant. During this COVID-19, the crisis will come, problems will come. There were financial crises in 2008 that gave the birth to Ola, Uber, Airbnb, and many other new ventures had come up. This corona and this particular lockdown will also give new startups, new ventures, new innovations. Necessity is the mother of invention. But water conservation is going to be very important for all of us because the next global crises are going to be on water. Jal Sanrakshan. We got to save every drop of the water. And that is the reason we started this campaign on 5th of June, World Environment Day, and we are continuing till 15th of August, India's Independence Day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at present, children are at home. They are with their parents. Can we all work in the direction that at present, when the children are at their home with their parents, can we adopt practical water saving techniques at our home? एक एक बूंद पानी की बचानी है. उन जगहों में जाकर देखिए जहां पर पानी आता नहीं है, घंटों मिलता नहीं है, मीलों लोगों को अपना पानी अपने सर पर लेके चलना होता है और तब वो कहीं सरवाइव कर पाते हैं. Every drop of water is very precious. Parents, educators, and youth, let's come together. Let us start from our homes during this lockdown period. Then thereafter, we will go to educational institutions, to our campuses, our school, our colleges, our institutions. And then the people, those are working, when you go to your workplaces, factories, shopping mall, theaters, and public places, wherever you're going to be, let's save every drop of water. And one recommendation we would like to make very strongly to Dr. our Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank ji, that it has to be taken very seriously. Like we have got other vocational subjects in 11th and 12th, we have got tourism, we have got hotel management, we have got fashion industry, we've got a couple of other subjects which children take as a vocational. There should be a proper subject of water conservation as one of the vocational subjects to be taken for a practical approach if we want to save the whole world. Now, our entire team from 20th of March, right from the day the crisis were felt, we started working, and the research which has come from the world over by various experts of our chamber, ICSI global team, till the May 2020, when I talk about 31st May, when we got it, the inputs are the first thing and the first priority we have to give to the basic food, food processing, agriculture, animal husbandry. Survival is very important. And when I was talking to some of the people and they told me कि सड़कों के आसपास जहां लोग पैदल चल के अपने घर वापस जा रहे थे, अगर वहां पर फूलों की जगह ऐसे पौधे होते जिन पर कुछ वृक्षों पर फल लगे होते, कुछ खाने की चीजें होती, तो उन लोगों को नेचुरल वे में प्रकृति से फूड मिल जाता. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would make a humble request from our chamber, start growing now organic food. अपने घर की छत पर, अपने किचन गार्डन में, जहां भी कोई कोना मिलता है, कैसे भी करके आप कोई भी सब्जी उगाइए, हल्दी लीजिए, अदरक लीजिए, प्याज लीजिए, कुछ भी आपको लगता है, लेकिन कुछ भी ऐसा उगाइए जिससे कि आपकी जगह सिर्फ फूलों पे मत जाइए. अब सर्वाइवल की बात है, वो इसलिए क्योंकि जो B2B है, it will be no more known as world over business to business, it will be known as now back to basics of life. Number 2, take care of your health, and wellness is going to be more important. So 21st June is coming. Take interest, look after yourself, become mentally strong. Third part of the triangle is digital education, e-learning, earn and learn. Now that is going to be the norm. और ये सारा जो यूनिवर्स ब्रह्मांड है, ये सारे का सारा सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट पर टिका हुआ है. We all have to have sustainable development in the times to come. because nobody knows how long this pandemic will continue, when the vaccine will come, who is going to get the first vaccine, and how much it is going to be costly, and what the going to be the norms and how the things are going to be. So let's be mentally prepared. You have not only to build your physical immunity, you have to build your mental immunity. So here I come to, before I bring you my distinguished panelist and the guest this evening, ladies and gentlemen, very nice quote which comes from our chamber. And this I read through one of the motivational book. And what a beautiful way to say, whatever human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. From today onward, all the educator and all of us together in the universe, wherever you are, whosoever you are, whatever age you are, it doesn't matter. I'm 70-year-old, but I've got the energy of that 20 years old young boy. Because I'm passionate, become passionate, love yourself, be humorous, laugh, enjoy every moment of your life. Whatever human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So ladies and gentlemen, world over, let's come together for the global education empowerment. International Chamber for Service Industry, www.icsiindia.in. You can send us your CV, your brief profile. If you want to be a panelist, you want to send some suggestions, you want that your recommendations to be a part of our final report which we prepare, you can send it at innovation@icsi.asia. We have also given you down below both these cell numbers. This is for the WhatsApp. You can come up on that and we can share with you. So ladies and gentlemen, I know our doctors, our nurses, our paramedical, our support staff, in the entire medical fraternity, great salutations and great regards and great gratitudes to all of them. But at the same time, because I come from the education ecosystem, our educators are also equally, they are also the warriors. They are also the part of the process because they are trying to reach out every child. When you do not have the seamless connectivity, when you have the urban, rural, semi-urban, interiors, far-flung areas, how to reach, they are doing wonderful job. So, like you have the Filmfare Awards, let me introduce three of the education warriors this evening to you. Those are going to share their thoughts with you. And ladies and gentlemen, here comes on the stage my first warrior, that is Madam Lata Vaidyanathan. She's a former principal of Modern School. My salutations, my namaskaram, my great regards to the lady for joining us this evening, and she's going to share her thoughts. Madam Lata Vaidyanathan ji, she's a veteran educationist who stands dedicated and committed to promotion of child-centered education. During her illustrious career of more than 3.5 decades, she was the principal of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan School at Chandigarh, Modern School, Barakhamba Road, New Delhi, and a founder principal of ICIS School at Parvanu. Ladies and gentlemen, those of us, those are from abroad. Parvanu is when you go from Chandigarh to Himachal Pradesh, it is right over there, and there's a hotel called Timber Trail, and there's a beautiful cable car also, which takes you up. So this is a beautiful place. Whenever you get time, see the pictures. So ma'am, she's a founder principal of ICIS School at Parvanu. She spearheaded burden-free education. She's a practitioner of multiple intelligence approach to learning and total quality management in education. Her contribution towards inclusive education of differentially abled children is commendable. Besides community development, it's a great noble cause, ma'am. Very hearty welcome and great salutations to you. She was honored with the National Award to Teachers in the year 2003 by the President of India and numerous other awards, including Dr. Radhakrishnan's Award, Bharat Shiromani Award, Madhav Gaurav Ratna Achievement Award, International Lifetime Achievement Award 2009, and Global Warming Reduction Award 2009. It's very important from the environment point of view. Educationist of the Year Award 2013 and Lifetime Achievement Award by Patanjali Trust 2014. So Madam has also gone to Swamiji and I think Balkishanji and the entire fraternity over there. Her current assignments include being a member of Board of Management of the National Bal Bhavan, member of the Executive Committee of National Council for Education, Research and Training, director of the EdSil India Limited, besides being associated with the numerous educational institutions in an advisory capacity. A very hearty welcome to Madam this evening. We have also been joined by Dr. Ashok Pandey. He is the director, Alcon Group of Schools. A very hearty welcome to Dr. Ashok Pandey ji. Dr. Pandey has a keen interest in quality education, teaches professional development and sustainable development goals, and is also chairperson, Council for Global Citizenship Education. He is actively engaged in the interfaith dialogue and peace building. He is an active partner for the UN when you say hashtag Act 4SDG, that is Sustainable Development Goals, and number 4 is for education, and hashtag teacher SDG ambassador. Widely traveled to over 20 countries, participated in the Global Peace Convention held in Seoul in 2019, UN Festival for Action on SDGs held in Bonn 2018, and Indo-Australia Dialogue Melbourne 2017. A thought leader, Dr. Pandey takes speaking assignments on global citizenship education and teacher development from across the world. He is a recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award by Ferguson Humanitarian Foundation International USA, Advait Foundation Leadership Award, and President's Award for his contribution in education. Author of several articles, projects, research papers, and books. His latest book, Launch Your Inspiring Principal Leadership, was published in December 2019. Very, very hearty welcome to Dr. Ashok Pandey ji. We have also been joined, ladies and gentlemen, by Dr. R.D. Mohan, founder, Kalpavriksha Guru. Dr. R.D. Mohan, the founder of Kalpavriksha Guru, has been in the field of education administration with varied experience of pedagogical innovations, psychological assessment of people, behavioral science, and is a great motivator. He possesses a rare blend of spirituality, motivation, face reading, and handwriting analysis skills. His area of expertise is in the training and development in HR, along with the leadership management, past life regression therapy, neuro-linguistic programming, and inner engineering. He has trained over 50,000 Indian Air Force personnel, including fighter pilots and senior officers, more than 7,000 educators, 3,000 parents, and over 1,000 youngsters in soft skills, anger management, life skills, and team building. He has trained bureaucrats, senior Army, Navy officials from India and abroad, leadership teams from corporate sector through various interventions and regeneration programs. He runs a foundation for visually impaired Ahalvili. He is also an internationally certified life coach. A very hearty welcome to Dr. R.D. Mohan. He is a group captain from Indian Air Force. So ladies and gentlemen, like it happens in the Filmfare Awards, and you get the awardees of particular day and evening. Here the award goes to 3 of my awardees this evening. A very hearty welcome to all 3 of you and great salutation. Pleasure to have all of you. And let me start. From the armed forces, we learn respect to be given and more respect to be given to the ladies. So we will start this evening with most respectable Madam Lata Vaidyanathanji. Ma'am, you got to unmute your mic.
Yes. Namaskar to one and all. Oh my God.
No worries, no worries, no worries.
Yes.
It's okay. It's
I
okay.
think just there it comes back.
No worries, no worries.
All right. Yeah, this has been happening since
It
yesterday.
was a special effect, Lata. Don't worry.
I know, Ashok. That's how I feel.
That is the positivity. That is the
Absolutely.
positivity.
That's exactly the focus of my talk today as well. So namaskar to all of you. And thank you, Dr. Gulshan Sharma and your entire team for having me over this evening. I just need to say one thing, that after listening to you, I normally look at anything that we have to learn on two aspects. One is the searchlight, one end of the spectrum to another end of the spectrum, from one end of the triangle to the other end of the triangle, and you have covered it all. The other one is called the searchlight. Sorry, this was the searchlight. The other one is called the laser beam. And I think today my task is going to be with respect to the laser beam and a very small aspect, but with a big impact of the areas that I think is critically important in education. Three things set me off on a decision as to why I'm going to be speaking on what I want to be speaking. One thing, and the first one, what 2 world wars and an atom bomb could not achieve, I think this less than 1 gram of virus has done to the entire world. Call it lockdown. But in this lockdown, the number of minds that have been unlocked is, I think, the best thing that has happened to all of us. So let's look at it positively. The second thing that bothers me is what is happening around. Forget about the earthquakes and the disturbances that nature has bestowed, but what's happening in the Galvin Valley? Why is this animosity? That bothers me. Where have we failed the humanity in looking at the negotiation table and picking up arms to kill? The third thing that really, really worries me is that I think when we look around and see what are those things that can really disturb us, are very young people being lost. Lost as in killing themselves. So there is something which matters most to educators, the preservation of all kinds of humanity. And I think that's the personal task. But here are 4 small anecdotes that I want to speak about. The first one, as a kind of as scaffolding the little bit that I want to talk about a little later. The first one is that in a dialogue of 2 people, an adult asked a child, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And the child said, "I want to be happy." He said, "No, not really. I'm asking you, what do you want to be when you grow up?" The child said, "I want to be happy." The adult replied again, said, "Oh, you don't understand. I'm asking you something else." He said, "Sorry, sir, you don't understand what I'm telling you." So I think, end of the day, all that we're attempting to do to nurture the nature around us, be it children, teachers, young adults, or people whom we can influence, there is this whole issue of happiness. And that I think is very, very critical. The second story, when Mahatma Gandhi visited a school, he went across there, and as would have it in most of the schools, when we receive a guest, we walk across and we say, "Meet Mr. Ashok Pandey, he teaches physics. Meet Dr. Mohan, he teaches English. Meet Ms. Sharma, she teaches history," and so on. So he was walked through with this whole line of teachers. And then at the end of it, Mahatma Gandhi stood by and said, "But tell me, I'm so happy to meet all of these, but tell me who teaches children." So I think there are lessons that we learn around, and these are so impactful as educators. When we fashion our education around us, these are some things that we need to really think about. But then comes the total being of a teacher, where the excellence of what he knows and the excellence of who he is begins to impact both the life and living of people. So here is this doctor. This doctor, and his assistant. This is a real story, by the way. And he's a cardiovascular surgeon. So he does kind of 4 surgeries a day. So this one would stop, his assistant would stop him up and watch that after every surgery, here is this man who's be waiting and going into some kind of silence or meditation. So he asked him one day, "Sir, what is it that you do when you go into the silence? Is it that you you go into and pray that each of your works must be successfully, for each of your surgery must really impact life and therefore be successful? Or what is it that you do? Let me know." So he said, "No, I'm neither an atheist nor a theist to pray and wait. I'm an agnostic. However, I want to tell you that in my career, what I learned tells me what I need to do. But it is the body that will be giving me the cues and telling me as to what I must be doing. Therefore, I wait, so that I don't get into an auto mode, I wait for the cues. I want to be sure that there's no carryover effect of the last one into the next one." I think that is the kind of diversity, the intensity, and the purpose of education that we see for ourselves. It's all well to see that whether it is COVID times or regular schools, the amount of work that goes into all kinds of cognitive work that happens leads to one belief that this is the route to economic progress. This is the way children will have to learn and climb the ladders of success in order to get into this world of work and passion. However, in doing all this, we know one thing for certain, that I, being, I think, an old timer, want the schools to reopen because I want to see it all happen. The tech and touch debate will continue without ignoring what technology can certainly do and transform. When I was thinking about all this, and then it says that even if I am able to be the best in the cognitive domain, there will always be the affective domain and the psychomotor domains that don't actually get addressed during these times. So how do we go about it? And then all argue your interest by so many other great thinking and thoughts. For example, I was just thinking that it is in a very neighborhood, beautiful country of ours that we have Bhutan. And in Bhutan, they talk about the gross national happiness. They hardly talk about the gross national product. And they measure their country's success through that. And if that is the measure of a country's success, what would it and how would it impact education? That brought me to the focus of today's, given these circumstances in which I was examining the more human aspect, the more being is the more important one. What are we? Who are we being as teachers? And how are we impacting generations of students through all that we want to do? And therefore, I brought my focus for a very small discussion today on what I think is the emotional nature of well-being and how that would impact the life and living of children as both children and as adults. And I chanced to see this World Health Organization's goal for education. I mean, somewhere even they have stated the goal for education. Nobody is talking economics. Nobody is talking of the gains and losses. They are saying that education has to focus on a state of well-being in which every individual realizes his or her own potential, can cope with normal stress of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her own community. And that, I think, is very important when we look at education from both far and near. It is very interesting that very often in schools, if there is a problem, the problem is normally sometimes, not always, but in some places and sometimes, it is believed that it can be handled by specialist people like the counselors. However, I think as mature educators, all of us understand that each teacher is a counselor And unless there is an emotional well-being and a total person, there cannot be any learning. Learning will happen only when the entire environment around it is fine. And therefore, it is not this kind of resilience that we talk about crucially is not the domain of just the psychologist, the psychiatrist, or the counselors. And in fact, this to me is the hidden curriculum of our schools. It's clearly the hidden curriculum of our schools. And therefore, if we have to measure success of schools, this centrality has to be honored. And therefore, I look at what needs to be really improved. We need to really focus on improving students' successes through their complete being. We need to make sure that the whole atmosphere, be it students or the school, there it generates a leadership which leads on to this. We need to build a very collaborative atmosphere through which we'll begin to understand, build resilience, and help children deal with adversity. And there can be no overstating of this except at the current times. Give children safe environments to grow up. Make sure that they have all positive self-regard for themselves, and therefore they are a total human being. But having said this, I think, the one person who really made the emotional intelligence popular, with a little more focus on that aspect, the emotional intelligence popular, I think, is Daniel Goleman. And in one of his commentaries, or when he outlined the whole process for people to understand, he did focus on self-awareness. He spoke of self-regulation. He spoke of motivation. He spoke of empathy, and he spoke of social skills. Somewhere I feel that until this forms the complete background to whatever is being transacted in the classroom or in and around schools, digitally or otherwise, online or offline, if this protection is not provided, I don't think good quality learning can happen. So what are the basic 5 areas or attributes of this kind of emotional understanding that we have? To sum it up kind of briefly, we can look at self-management. And when we talk of self-management, what are its key factors? Its key factors will include a control of any kind of feeling that we possess, whether it's impulsive or otherwise. How do you control that? So that is a kind of self-management attribute that we can see. How do we manage our emotions in a very healthy way? And therefore, what is the role? While anything is being transacted, what is the role of the entire adult and the interactive behaviors within the classroom to make sure that these initiatives are taken to manage things in a healthy way? How are we going to follow up on whatever commitments? Because when we talk of self-management, there is going to be constantly this whole evolution of how do you manage yourself. And we are trying to help children that part of it will be supported, but how are you going to manage yourself? There has to be an examining of this whole content of it. And of course, they have to know that nothing is going to be easy, and therefore they have to be adapted to circumstances. So while self-management is an important part, the next thing is about their social awareness. Because if there is a social awareness, and if there is a self-awareness, and there is this relationship management, I think these 4 attributes carry the entire emotional learning on their shoulders. And what is the social awareness we are talking about? I think given the cohort in which children grow up, the kind of diversity that they need to understand for interaction, and today in this more globalized world, I think they need to understand that they need to feel the empathy, they need to feel the sympathy, they need to recognize the power of a lot of groups which look significantly different from them. And how are they going to do this if they do not understand in a social way that it is all going to happen, and the responses of whatever they know is going to be very critical, because that has to impact the growth of social systems. Now, this can happen only when they have deep self-awareness. And this awareness is essentially about recognizing and knowing themselves. It's not so easy. Although this looks like a good list of things that people need to understand or do, it is not very easy because very often, even as adults, we function outside of ourselves rather than the inside of ourselves. We hardly pay attention, or what we can today call mindfulness. Very Buddhist in its understanding in the more recent past. But I think, and if you trace it down to our yogic shastras, I think we'll find a lot of similarities in trying to say that, ek chit, sachit, ekagrita. So there are a lot of things that will come around the self-awareness, and that when you're able to communicate clearly with people around, I think that is where you will begin to work in teams and make sure that the success of everybody is deeply something you are aware of. And of course, the relationship management. And I somehow, when as I was delving into these thoughts, one thing was coming very clearly, that what I know will only matter if what I know can impact growth around me. And that growth, if it has to happen clearly, I need to be somebody who I can inspire, but I also feel that I need to understand this relationship in terms of how I feel inspired, and how do I manage my conflicts, how do I manage my trust, how do I manage my freedom, how do I manage my humor, and so many other things that actually bring these relationships issues together. If you're talking of completely understanding our self-management, our self-awareness, our social awareness, and our relationship management, what would happen if these things were not there? If we do not go into these understandings as an institution, these are not subjects that can be taught. I think every teacher, the whole institution will have to have a culture of this empathy, sympathy, nurturing together to make all this happen. Because if this does not happen, it will impact performance in school. It will impact their academic performance in school, and they will refuse to navigate through all that they need to in times of distress and stress. Of course, it begins to impact their personal health if they are not completely present. Present with the deep awareness of themselves in relationship to the others and things around them and learnings around them, both local and otherwise. And when it impacts their personal health, anything that pulls down your health takes you away from any kind of learning and people and places. Well, not just physical health. And it'll show up in terms of whether it's their BP fluctuation, whether it is in terms of their immunities, whatever. There will be some physical expressions for these as well. And therefore, we need to understand, why is this child quiet? What is happening? Why is he not responsive? And therefore, those things need to be paid attention to. This also shows up in their vulnerability and mental health issues. There are so many forms in which we can see it. There are children who will respond in such difficult ways that unless we are sensitive to this, I don't think learning exactly can happen. Even if one child is there in class and the teacher is not sensible or responsive to this, I think we have lost, I don't know what. We have lost a lot. We can't afford, like they say in Israel, a single child lost. It's so important to us. It'll impact their relationships. It'll impact their social intelligence. There are so many other interactions that will begin to show up in many forms. And therefore, I think in the transactions of our lessons, deep sensitivity, whether it's out in the sports field, whether it is in a dance class, whether it's during a scholastic or a co-scholastic activity, this watching that people are emotionally stable, providing them the atmosphere to make sure that within schools and schooling systems, and also the other agencies that impact their learning, be it their home, be it the society, whatever it is, all of these will become important. We talk of how this is important, but I think I'll just spend the next very few minutes on saying that if we understand all this so well, then what are the actions? Because it cannot stay without actions. And some tips for this could be that if we talk of self-awareness, we need to understand, pay attention to as actions, why do we do what we do? And can we visit our values and beliefs and help children do that as well periodically, not necessarily in the form of a lesson, but can there be plays? Can there be theater? Can there be music around it? Can we do all of that? Then, besides that, help them do a lot of reflections on whatever happened during the day. So if you can spend a little time on this to understand their self-management practices, I think that would be very helpful. And each one should take responsibility for this, including dialogues and visits to parents and other agencies which impact their lives. I want to also just add that when we talk of self-awareness, we have these lovely assemblies in schools. We have small and large gatherings in school where I think, we tell them of our own yogic practices, the pranayams, the breathing exercises where they calm down and learn to relax a bit. And can we make that a culture of school? Because it's okay to label these practices, but how are we actually doing it? So I think every school, every teacher, every gathering, every institution can have a list of these to-dos to either for them to engage in self-management or in their self-awareness and their social awareness of living in the moment, trying to figure out and give back. That is very important, and I think that is the reason why we have all these inter-school contests, get children from all kind of countries coming in for immersive experiences within our schools. This whole lot of interaction that takes place, I think, defines in so many ways that what they learn is also practiced. And I think it's very important, therefore, that this relationship management, in whether in their humor, in their practices, in their learning to share, in learning to care, and get together people for discussions, not give judgments, but involve them in their decision-making processes, think critically, and today, much touted as the 21st century skills, I think if these children are engaging people through their relationship management in trying to solve problems, I think we are seeing action on what they are actually learning. I know that one can go on these areas endlessly, but I think I would like to stop here with only one feeling as I wish to say that, I think by and large, these are not periods in schools. This is the culture knitted within the school's fabric. This is something which must raise the level of belongingness, because I think children, like plants and everything that grows in the most natural, well provided and nurtured environments. It is a responsibility, whether during these times or otherwise, for schools particularly, because we are talking of a very vulnerable age group from kindergarten to their early adolescence or even to a later adolescence. But all of these come with the complications of so many wants and beliefs. I think with these few words, I want to thank you so much. Very anxious to listen to everybody else. But being a teacher has been a joyful journey. And as Dr. Sharma said, this passion keeps you young. And so I believe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am. It came right from your heart. We could feel it. And everybody enjoyed, from Peru, from Argentina, from Brazil, from France, couple of places, inputs which people are getting and they have taken. And your immediate wonderful beginning was searchlight and a laser beam, something beautiful which you put. And of course, Bhutan, when you mentioned, something with my family goes very well. My son went for his honeymoon to Bhutan and everybody was laughing. Dr. Gulshan Sharma, you worked with the Ministry of Tourism. Your son is going to Bhutan, to such a small place. Why? Gross happiness, what you mentioned, is ultimate peace of mind and happiness. That's what is life and that's what is family. And self-awareness, when you mentioned over there, why do we do what we do? Wow, it's so much of philosophy and so much of practical, the complete thing. And of course, culture knitted together in the schools and all being done over there. I am grateful to Swarnima Luthra because she is the one who brought you this evening over here. I'm thankful to her. As far as the school fraternity, and my educators, Aradhyas, those are coming here. It's so grateful. We would have been deprived of something great to listen from your experience, what we got otherwise. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's such a pleasure. It's such a pleasure. May I now request my another veteran, and ladies and gentlemen, this particular session should be also like Filmfare Awards. Why should we just, I do not know why people remain so serious, why people are not smiling, laughing, and some of the educational institutions also, when we go over there, the person who is sitting outside principal's office, he or she doesn't smile. They don't smile. Why they don't smile? Do you think that we give a better impression if we are serious? I think if you want to remain happy, the positive dopamine has to come from our brain all the times. Mentally, you got to be happy. And this evening is beautiful. So, Dr. Ashok Pandey, I don't know. While sharing the thoughts, would you sing a song also? I don't know. But music therapy is a part of the entire human development. So something I don't know. Dr. Ashok Pandey, hearty welcome to you, and let's go ahead with your
Thank
session.
you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sharma. You see, you invited the lady and you quoted the armed forces culture. I think after her, you should have brought in Dr. Mohan because he's from the armed forces. So you missed out on there. Anyway, that is.
Sorry to interrupt. You are bridging the gap.
Okay. So, Dr. Gulshan, Dr. Gulshan.
I always mute my mic when my speakers and my educators from whom I have to learn. When they speak, I mute my mic.
So you remain unmuted for a second, because I want to say a couple of things, because you have asked me to be humorous and lively and not serious. So a couple of things are necessary for me to say here. You have done this whole atmosphere so Gulshane Gulzar, and Swarnima ji has made this occasion Swarnim, golden for the benefits of my viewers who don't understand Hindi. I want to read one comment by one Dr. Bharat Indu Verma in the chat box. And the comment is that this 7 o'clock program that you are doing, it has become a staple diet for the people, and it provides them all the nutrients and immunity building components to fight COVID-19 and also to fight any negativity. So compliments to you and your team and your vision. I really appreciate it, and thank you for bringing me in. I'm a physics student, and you are insisting that I should sing a song, which I'm very, very hesitant and not good at. But since we come from India, people, 1.3 billion people, you talked about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and you are addressing now literally to the entire globe. And the people who are aligned to your program, they are representing 7.5 billion people. And therefore, one message on your behalf, on behalf of 1.3 billion people, I want to convey to the entire world. And the message is like that. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kashchid Dukh Bhag Bhavet. Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. And I'll translate it for the people outside. May everyone be happy. May everyone be free from all diseases. May everyone see goodness and auspiciousness in everything. May none be unhappy or distressed. Om, peace, peace, peace. So with this message, with your permission, Dr. Gulshan, I also need permission to share my screen and then I'll speak for about 10 minutes time as you have permitted. So here we are. And building on your philosophy, Dr. Gulshan, and the beautiful narrative that my friend and senior Lataji has put, I straight away jump into how to bring in children in the center of everything that we do as adults, as educators, parents, and institutions. And the first thing that we should keep in our mind is that we have to make our students and strong young adults capable of effecting positive change in their own lives and the world around them. I think that is the most agreed consensus that all of us have as far as the vision for our young children is concerned. And therefore, we have to empower them to set their goals, take initiations and actions, reflect and regulate their own behavior and their own pathways with good quality feedback, excellent mentoring, and continuous treading on that pathway. And this can be done only when we imbue them with a lot of emotional energy, predominantly self-belief. That is something which is very, very important to bring children in the focus. And for that, what is necessary is not that we have to change the children. I think we have to change ourselves. And therefore, we have to re-examine as to what is the purpose of a schooling. Why do those children come to us? And what are their expectations? And therefore, we have to make this shift in our own thought process, that we are not just preparing them for next college or university admission, but we are preparing them for life. So preparedness for life and lifelong learning, that should be the first change that as educational institutions we have to embrace. The second thing we have to be very, very careful, all these years, for good reasons or bad reasons, I will not go into that, but we have always dominated as adults by imposing my way on the children. And we have thought that whatever we do for them is perhaps the best, maybe with good intention, but certainly not with good outcomes. So we have to find out that every child is included in our system. Everybody is pushed into the system and not pushed out of the system. And there are many alternate ways to reach the learning goals. And there are multiple ways, not only few ways, my ways or highways, but we have to embrace multiple ways to reach out to each child. And the third thing that we have to change is that far too long we have prepared our children and stressed them beyond limit to score high marks. But I think, could we embed into our system what are the incredible contributions that they can make to the world through service, through projects, which they will try for the first time, maybe in a school, and they meet their goals. They might not succeed, but that will pave the way for them to live their dreams. So with a combination of successes and failures, with a combination of sensitivity and empathy, kindness, forgiveness to the experiences that they gain, I think those contributions should also be included into the overall evaluation and assessment of our children, and not only the highest percentage. So these are the three foundational changes that we have to make to bring our children into the center of it. I'm going to present a graph here, statistics, which is sourced from the Gallup. And they gave this questionnaire to two sets of people. One is the educators in the United States, and some adults from the civil society. And they asked them these 5 or 6 questions. As what is the effectiveness of a good school? or in other words, which schools are very effective. And of course, the first thing that determines the effectiveness of a school says how many students are graduating from your school. So that number and quantity is there. But if you look at this statistics, what pleasantly surprises me is that the second position, both for the educators and for the civil society, is how engaged students are with the school. That is something very, very important. And Lata was mentioning about it, that the engagement with the school, and not only through those cognitive activities, but through socio-emotional activities, projects, fostering responsibilities in them, and emotional energy build-up. That engagement is very, very important. And how much optimism we create into them, and how well we empower them to go on the pathway of their future. Remember, the question is how hopeful students are about their future, not about their college admission. So this is the third position. I will not go into all of them, but it is very, very revealing and instructive that the last score goes to scores that students received on standardized tests. What a commentary it is on the standardized test, which we glorify so much. And therefore, I will just conclude here that engagement with the school and empowering them to take charge of their own future, that makes a school a very, very effective school. At least this statistic should instruct us. So when we come to this background of what exactly should be our purpose, what students are looking forward to, I think 2 or 3 things that we have to do. One is that we have to change our vision statement. And the vision statement should bring in the student agency. And what is that? Transformative change in the mindset and systems and processes of the schools. We have to be flexible and make changes as to what should be done in the best interest of the children, and how to bring in their agency to create the curriculum, pedagogy, preparedness, empowerment, because they are the ones who are the beneficiaries, and they must be a very, very important voice into all this. The second vision statement that we have to bring in is new learning experiences and opportunities. For a very, very long time, we have taught them in the same manner, same curriculum, same time, same tests, same results. I think it is time our classrooms, whether it is virtual or in person, becomes more engaging, more interactive, more based on dialogue, and giving children new experiences and opportunities to explore the future and to connect with the community. And the third shift that we have to make is our own system of assessment and evaluation has to change. And this assessment should not be to pass any judgments on them, but to bring in developments in them as well as development in us as teachers as to how we can bring in new learning experiences and opportunities to each one of them. So this is the vision change that we have to bring. And the second change that we have to do is, as I mentioned earlier, that we have to move from my way, which means educator's way, to your way, which means student's way. And therefore, we have to factor in a student voice, and that is their passion and purpose we have to discover, and we have to align our programs as per their passion and purpose. Their choices. Now, you mentioned, Dr. Gulshan, in the beginning that they will go to different walks of life. And if we have to send them to different walks of life based on their passion and purpose and based on the relevancy, then we have to make it a little bit personalized. And to make it personalized, our structure of the schooling should be more based on pockets of academies where if they want to go for music, they want to go for dance, They want to go for sports. They want to become first-rate scientists and engineers. They want to become a sociologist. They want to become a doctor. I think it is a tall order. But if we do not make these changes for many, many years in the future, we will continue to do the same thing in the manner in which we have done, and we will not be honest enough to bring in the voice and choice for the future of the children. So this is the next change that we have to bring in. And for that, I think we educators have to learn to be comfortable with the most uncomfortable things. And the most uncomfortable thing, in my opinion, is to change. And we are very, very resistant to changes. But these are the three changes that I'm suggesting. And I think we have to start thinking about it as far as I can see it. The first is we have to come outside our comfort zone. So the system that we have developed, we have achieved some successes, but those successes are also determined by us. If we put our success story to others and how others view it, then only we know whether we succeeded or we failed. And therefore, let us adapt to this change of working outside our comfort zone and make changes in the scheduling, make changes in the way we offer curriculum to them, make changes in the way we have treated them as passive recipients and listeners to our discourses, and bringing in those voices and choices for the future of them. This adaptability change has to come. And after all, when all of us moved to this online system, I think we have already demonstrated that it is very much within our capability to move out of the comfort zone and adapt new changes. How beautiful it would be if these changes are keeping the children's future in mind, their interests in mind, and their passions in mind. The second change we have to bring in is collaborative changes, which means we have to include the voices of all the teachers, the community, the parents, the future takers of these students, the college authorities, the universities, the workplaces, industry, the community at large. What are they requiring as the foremost qualities and characteristics that our children should develop during the time they are with us for 10 to 12, 14 years? That change bringing into our system will be very, very helpful. And the third thing, in my opinion, is the changes we make, which make our education system and the child building a sustainable process. And therefore, our continuity is not broken. We do not hit a dead wall, and we do not incur a lot of risks. And for that, it is necessary that our planning, we become reflective, we keep on learning and improving without shying away, and then only the entire process can be very, very sustainable. So these are the points that I want to make. And in summary, my thesis, which I want to present here for the discussion and deliberation of all the viewers and people like you, is are we really serious about bringing in children in our scheme of things? Are we demonstrating our act of love for the children? Are we demonstrating that they matter the most? Are we demonstrating that we believe in them and their capabilities must be leveraged and must be fostered at the same time? Thank you very much, Dr. Gulshan.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. डॉक्टर साहब आपने तो कमाल कर दिया, उतना ही टाइम लिया.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you. और इनिशियली आपने सेट ऐसा किया स्टेज भारतीय श्लोक के साथ, that people from world over, और खासकर जो हमारे कुछ एक मित्र हैं जो हिंदी बोलते हैं और बाहर अब्रॉड हैं, they are extremely happy the way you have set up the tone for them. And
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
आपने गाना नहीं सुनाया, उन्होंने कहा फिजिक्स का और गाने का बहुत आपस में तालमेल है. So maybe next time we will have it from you.
Next time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And something very nice which you gave, student voice and student choice. That has appealed to many people because I am directly getting a lot of messages on the Facebook from the people, and it's so positive. And when you mentioned school vision for student agency, shift from my way to your way. That is something again very interesting. And of course, learning schools embrace change. What you have mentioned, the adaptive change, collaborative change, and sustaining change. It has gone well deeper. There are lots of people, those have commented on the Facebook to me, and very positive, very, very positive notes. Few questions are there, but I'll see if time permits. Otherwise, we will take on with you individually.
In the meantime, I'll see, and if I can answer some of those questions in the chat
that
box
would be very kind
or in the question and answer box.
It is in question and answer box.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, once again the stage is set. Two of my awardees have gone. The best award for the Lady of the Year has gone to Madam Lataji, and the best award for physics teacher and physics legend has gone to Dr. Ashok Pandey ji. Let me get to the armed forces now, and let me get to the group captain, Dr. R.D. Mohanji. He's a life coach. I've already mentioned there are a couple of things common we have got with each other. And what you mentioned about Dr. Pandey Saab regarding Verma ji, he's a veteran and he's a blog writer. He's a creative writer. He's a columnist. He writes a lot. And he is a decorated soldier, Colonel Saab from Indian Army.
Okay,
so
okay.
That is also happy. I would just like to share with you.
I'm very happy. Very happy.
And with these words, ladies and gentlemen, let me invite Dr. R.D. Mohanji. Please share your thought process, share your vision, whatever you want to take. The canvas is yours, because abroad people, they are totally with you and they would love to listen to, because in your introduction, what I have given, they are looking forward to. So with these words, ladies and gentlemen, here comes my another star of the evening, and the stage is set for Group Captain Dr. R.D. Mohanji. And I play the music also. Tang, ta, Go ahead. Please unmute your mic. Unmute your mic.
Thank you, Gulshan sir. Thank you, everybody. My namaskar, good evening, good morning to all the people who are participating in this. Next 12 to 13 minutes, I'll be talking to you about the life management skills for the next generation. It is the students. Lata ma'am spoke about entirely on my cup of tea, that is the emotional intelligence. Very well she covered. And Dr. Ashok sir, he covered what is exactly required for the children. Now I'll be combining both of these panelists, and I'll be talking to in a better way in a macroscopic way, I can say. I'll be covering in a macroscopic way so that all our panelists are in the same tandem in our thought process, what we can give next to the children who are going to be the future leaders of this globe. Ladies and gentlemen, the school and the colleges, we prepare the children. I would like to say that school gives the lesson first, takes a test later on. Life, when they come into their life, professional and personal life, the life gives them the test first and teaches the lesson later on. This is the total difference between the school life and the actual life outside the campus. Because at school life, we pamper them, we encourage them in all aspects. When they come to the field, when they come to the world, they are totally different, they are totally independent. They have to decide and think by their own. Post-COVID scenario, ladies and gentlemen, the whole world is going to change. The learning mostly is going to be e-learning. And the change, there is going to be a drastic change in the socio-dynamism. And the important stakeholders will be the same. First of all, let me start with the importance of e-learning. I don't I'm not going to talk to you about the e-learning from the system, computers and remote classrooms. I'm going to talk to you about the emotional learning that these children needs in the future so that they are strong, robust and good performers and happy performers. Coming to the important stakeholders for these children is the most important thing is the parents at home. The parents at home, they play a vital role in bringing up the children. Number two is the educational institutions, what culture they are bringing to the children. But I doubt that the educational intelligence or educational institutions are not going to be online. And we have to change and adapt to the situations to ensure that the children are all happy performers. The third one is the society as a whole, including our policy makers, to ensure that we shape the children. I should tell you a couplet from one of the Indian poets. He says that every parent, every teacher is a pot maker. He gives a supportive hand inside the pot and he pats it outside and gives a beautiful shape. In Hindi, we used to say, Guru Kumhar Sisha Kumbh hai, Ghadi Ghadi Gate Chot. Andar Haath Sahar de, Bahar Bahe Chot. This is what is the shaping of the children. We have to give them emotional support from our heart, and from outside we have to teach them the skills that are required for them to prepare them to face the world. Ladies and gentlemen, all stakeholders, the parents, the school teachers, and the society has to play a very important role in this aspect. We, human beings, unlike any other living thing that is available in the earth, we spend 30% of our life in preparing a child to stand by his own leg. I don't mean like literally standing by your own leg. A child walks between 8 to 12 months. But to get to stand on his own leg, to face his future, earn something for his dependents, we spend 30% of our lifetime. This is very, very long, ladies and gentlemen. The average human life is only 72 years for the whole globe. For India, it is about 69. And every country and every ethnic race has got different thing. Japan, there are certain small islands, they have got the life expectancy more than 100. But within the 72 years of average life on earth, we spend 30% of our life, that is 20 to 24 years, we prepare our child to educate, to skill them to get a job and earn by themselves. Whereas all other species which is walking on the earth, they kick their infants to ensure that they are on their leg at the moment they are delivered, and they ensure that they have the shortest period of nursing them and then leaving them into the world to fend for themselves and protect themselves from the fraught of danger that they face in the forest. But we take such a long time. I accept it. But this 30 years, that is 20 to 25 years of life, we actually teach them what? We teach them the skills, cognitive skills, we teach them the scholastic skills, and then we make them prepare to earn for themselves, and then they go into the world. Now, after that, when they enter the independent world where they earn and they live their life, if you ask them, how many of them are happy? And are all of them happy? If my question is, if the answer is yes, how many percentage of them are happy? And if the answer is no, how many percentage of them are not happy? We at Kalpurash Guru, I have got 30 years of service, training and development service in Indian Air Force. I'm a behavioral scientist. I did my research in big molecules in physics. I'm a metaphysicist. I've done a research on about 2,300 children all over India and asked them to rate their stress from 0 to 10. Students from class 8 to class 12. And these children, they rated their stress level as 9 out of 10. I was so surprised. We were so appalled. From northern side, from western side, southern side, all the students, including Dun school students also, we did the research. Then we asked the children, what is this 9% of stress you are having? They give a different percentile. But most of this stress went to the parents, because they are telling that my parents are all insisting on us, getting the pressure on us to perform well. You know, the percentage level of doctors all over the globe is 8. Policemen, percentage level is 9. Defense services, the percentage level is almost 9.5. And all these suicides that we hear about, I can give n number of examples from business icons, movie stars, students at Kota, which is the biggest coaching center in India. And very recently, I'll tell you a very interesting case study. So in the state of Tamil Nadu, class 10th board examination is scrapped off. The government said because of COVID, we pass all the students, but the marks will be based on their past performance. There was a girl who committed suicide based on this decision. You know why? She's an aspiring girl. She thought she will get the state first mark, but this government's decision depressed her and she committed suicide. So let me define what is stress. Ladies and gentlemen, stress is defined as a mental pressure that we take ourselves with a gap between your expectation and the reality. The reality is the result. You may have done very well with your perception, but your reality may be poor, whatever may be the result. So we have a difference in this gap. This gap gives us a lot of pressure. We teach the children at school the basic skills. We focus on intelligence quotients. The entire globe is focusing on intelligence quotients. When we take when they go to a job, they find out what is your IQ and what is your skill level. If both the things are very high, they take the children for their job. They are absorbed in a job. And these cognitive skills and this what's called scholastic skills are all very well covered in the schools. And we need to do more, and we are all doing more, and there is no need about it. But ladies and gentlemen, the society as a whole, what we need 4 things in very important. First thing is what Lata ma'am covered, that is the emotional quotient. Intelligence quotient is also required. We also need it because a person who is going to be a leader in his life, he needs to have his intelligence quotient applied. Third thing is SA, that is social adaptability for the child. So that if the social adaptability is there, the child can survive in any terrain, any place, any hostile place, and any VUCA atmosphere, and the child can do very well. And the fourth, last but not the least, is a social intelligence that is required for the children. When you go to the new city, first thing you have to see the psyche of the city, and then only you'll be able to drive in the city. So emotional quotients, intelligence quotients, social adaptability, and social intelligence are the 4 most important things available on to be imparted in our education system. Research says that emotional quotients, if it is 80% in a child, and the remaining 20% is intelligence quotient, and the child is performing in its life, the child performance will not be so high. It will be low performance and low success. And if you ask me what is success, success is you be happy, you be a best performer, and you live a healthy life. That is what I define success. And for 80% of intelligence, 80% of intelligence quotient and remaining 20% of EQ, this combination will not give you that much success. That is what is a practical empirical experiment that has been done on the people. On the other hand, coming to the second category of people who have 80% of intelligence quotient, emotional quotient, and remaining 20%, if they use their skills and IQs, they will be high performers and they will be having a high happiness quotient. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, all politically successful leaders are all successful because they come from the second category where they use they enrich themselves in their 80% of emotional quotient and they apply only 10% of 20% of their intelligence quotient, and they are happy, they live long, and their average lifespan of any politician will be above 70-80, and that is why emotional intelligence plays a very important thing. Let me tell you, as I told you, that stress is a gap between expectations and reality. This is what we have to prepare our children for. We need to focus on tweaking our syllabus, ladies and gentlemen, for the curriculum. The existing curriculum is good, but we have to tweak it to add to ensure that children perform well, avoiding stress. Children perform well even if there is a stress. even performing, the children should perform well by converting stress into productivity. The new generation should be trained to ensure that the success they get in their life does not enter the head, because that will bring them a lot of I can say negativity, or that may even come in Hindi we call it as aham, and it will set a complacency if the success enters your head. And your success, we should ensure that the failures doesn't enter the heart. That is why we keep competitions in schools. We have so many competitions. The basic idea of our competition is to ensure that some children taste success and many taste defeat. That is the most important thing. You have to face defeat from every stage of life, and you have to accept defeats in life. You find many performers, many business icons, if they go into small loss, if they go into smallest this thing, they immediately take a step of committing suicide. This is what is the reason. And our curriculum should also focus on the basic things of life. You know what? You go to a shop, you buy a cloth, you select the best of the best design, best of the best color of your choice. You go to a vegetable market, you go to a supermarket, you take the best of the best product. You go to, even in your own marriage, you select the best of the person who emotionally matches you. You go to a school or institution that you find that rating is high. But in all the aspects of life, there is one aspect that you and I will never select what we have to select in our life. We are not in an interactive session, otherwise I would have given an open question to all of you. You can even interact, or you can put it in the chat box. You tell me what is the thing that you never select in your life. If you can type it, we'll analyze it later on. I will now tell you the answer. I'm giving you a pause because I'm giving you time to type what is that you don't select in your life. Ladies and gentlemen, the thing that we don't select in our life is our thought process. When an impulse comes, we immediately come into a thought process and we take a decision. And we never think that whether this thought is correct or this thought is not correct, incorrect. And if you have the habit of selecting it, you will be the most successful and happiest person in the world. And this thought is the root of our behavior. The thought will bring in habits. The habits, repeated habits, will become our character. And this thought is the root of our life. And I always select, in one of my sessions, I take roots to shoot. You concentrate on a root, that is the root of the thought, and you will shoot out very nicely in your life. And there is one tree that is in Indian mythology, there is a tree called Kalpavriksha. There is a tree that is a wish-fulfilling tree. And this tree is there in every one of us, provided we nurture the good thoughts. And that good thoughts will sprout out. And you nurture the small plant of this particular thing. Weed out our negative thoughts. This plant will become a big Kalpavriksha. That is the wish-fulfilling tree. After that, you will find that everything manifests to your life. Let us focus on the roots to shoot nicely in our life. You know, the new generation is always a better generation as per the Darwin's theory. They are aspiring. The parents are aspiring. Everybody is pushing them to perform. And we teach them the tasks, and we should teach them the taste. We should teach them to taste the defeat. We should teach them also to be a part of life. This defeat is a part of life. You know, performance can improve only when your mind is free. If you are stress-free, you will be able to do very well in your life. And to be stress-free, you have to make your mind calm. And you have to make your mind calm. You should tell the children that accept life as it is. You look at the bird, you look at animals, you look at the cattle. Everybody has got no tension except we have tension. We are all people sitting with a load of stress on our head as if it is 100 kg rice bag or wheat bag, and we sit on a train and then we are traveling. We never offload it. We are always in anxiety. Either we live in the past or we live in the future with anxiety. We have to live in the present. Be happy. Be a happy performer. A happy and stable mind will be able to make a child perform well. And a stressful mind will always make your mind cloudful, and it will not make you perform very well. We need to address this, ladies and gentlemen. We need to address this through our change in curriculum. We have to, sir, kindly please put it up as a recommendation to the Prime Minister that our school curriculum should have emotional intelligence as a very important part. This was there in India in yogic system about 500 years back. All kings, they used to leave their children from their comfort zone. They used to put them in a ashram where less comfort is there, where all the life skills have been taught, where what Lata ma'am said, that they first learn about themselves, they learn to know about their emotions, then they learn to know about others, then they learn to know about their emotions, and then they build a relationship management which maintains them very good. In a nutshell, I can tell you what is this relationship management and what is the happiness in life is. In India, we have got a big epic called Mahabharata. Five people are fighting against 100 people. This is the concept. The five Pandavas is the five senses that we have in our body. Hundreds of Kauravas is scores of negative thoughts that come in our life. These five senses, if you control it aptly, with these five senses, you can control hundreds of scores of negative thoughts that come in your life. And every time, every moment, every week, every day, every month, you will be having a Mahabharata within yourself to fight against the negativity. And if the negativity is gone, you will be positive, you'll be happy, you'll be a happy performer, and you all can do very well. This is what I want to teach it to the children, and this is what we, Kalparish Guru, will touch the lives of millions of people to fight the Mahabharata and be a happy performer in life. So that if you are at ease, you are happy. If you are at stress, you are shifting from ease to disease. And we are here to prevent you from ease to disease. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Dr. Gulshan Sharma, sir, for giving me such a wonderful atmosphere to talk to such a large gathering. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. R.D. Mohanji, Group Captain Dr. R.D. Mohan Saab. Such a wonderful, thank you very much. Because each and every word which you have conveyed was so practical. The best part which people, my audience, have enjoyed, because 3-4 groups which have come for the watch party from different countries, that example which you have given is that in school life, the lesson is given first and then test is later. And in your real life, the outside world, when you come, the test is first, and later on you learn the lessons from the life, what exactly the life is. Wonderful, well said. And of course, your recommendation will be a part of our entire process, what we are going to submit to the government. Route to shoot is another area which people have appreciated a lot. And 80% and 20% which you have given, that was quite humorous. Why politicians live longer. So I'm not going to elaborate on that. That's well said and well taken. My deep thanks and my deep gratitudes to you and to my entire panel, right? Lata ji, Dr. Ashok ji, Dr. Mohan Saab, all of you, you have done a wonderful justice this evening to me. And so much I tried that I should get something out of Dr. Ashok in musical notes. Lata ji, do you sing? Because I want to finish on a musical note this today's program, because life as it is, parents got to be happy, youth got to be happy, students got to be happy, everybody got to be happy, and happiness and what the Bhutan was also mentioned in between. So my request is that does anybody sing out of you one line? Does anybody sing one line out of all three? You can unmute your mics, please. Ah, very good.
One line.
One line, okay. Dr. Pandey sir. Chalne se. Doctor sir. Doctor sir. Not from your mobile phone. We want actual. We want actual.
हम साथ साथ हैं.
हम साथ साथ हैं. Very good. Dr. Mohan, would you like to say anything? See, today is your evening. This is your time. And I have given an open platform. The world is watching you. And I remember one dialogue of Shah Rukh Khan. He says, whenever I come before camera, I'm a different person. And same thing goes for me also. I enjoy so much when I'm with the camera, because the reason being, You're connected with the whole world. And communication is connecting heart to heart, connecting soul to soul, connecting mind to mind. So Lata ji has given, of course, there is one Lata Mangeshkar ji and here is Lata Vaidyanathan ji. So that's something is very nice. Wonderful evening, wonderful panel. Yes.
Dr. Gulshan.
हाँ जी.
ये गाना तो नहीं है. But this is something which your viewers will appreciate.
Sure.
You know, this is in Sanskrit.
हाँ.
न धर्मो न कामो न अर्थो न मोक्षम. You know, Shivoham, Shivoham. You see, so I think the entire thing that we are discussing is that we have to transcend these four things which are prescribed. And still it is prescribed again that we have to transcend it. So Shivoham, Shivoham. I think that's the message.
Wonderful. And ladies and gentlemen,
Dr. Sharma.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, but something that's been coming through Dr. Pandey's and Dr. Mohan's talk, including all the kind of big expanse that you posted before us, is the role of each one. We are not a speck. We are fire. So I think each one. So A. Proctor has beautifully said it in his verse. He says, rise for the day is passing and you lie dreaming on. The others have buckled their armor and forth to fight are gone. A place in the rank awaits you. Each man has some part to play. The past and the future are nothing in face of stern today. We all have our roles. We are thankful to God for our breath, and we are thankful to God for our living.
So well said. So well said. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take a privilege to mention that Sanskrit is the most scientific language in the world, which has got maximum alphabets. And from Sanskrit so much. Dr. Pandey Sahab, you touched such an important chord. I was watching one video this morning which says that even the small population countries, they were talking about Finland, they were talking about Norway, they were talking about Denmark and all. Any country which loves its native language, its own language, I think if we have to get back to the glory once again, although my heart says that I should talk in my own language, but just to get the connectivity to the world, because I don't have the translators, I don't have that mechanism. From heart, I salute my mother, Matrabhumi, and my own mother tongue, and our own bhasha, our own language. But just to give the connectivity to the world, like Dr. Pandey initially said something in Sanskrit and later on translated in English language so that we all can be facilitated and felicitated. That is the way. So, ladies and gentlemen, with this, the awards of this evening gets over, and wonderful award, Golden Triangle, and each one of them is a winner, and they all get beautiful awards together. Namaskar.
And Lifetime Achievement Award to Dr. Sharma.
Absolutely. Totally with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My friends.
Energy is infectious. Absolutely infectious energy.
Just at the age of 70, I told you I'm 20 years old boy. So some of my friends, those are abroad and those understand Hindi, I'll take a privilege to take 1 minute before I close down, because they all know that during my academy days, during my tourism days, and everywhere I enjoyed music so much. I recommend, very strongly recommend, that music therapy should be a part of the syllabi in every curriculum, whether it's arts, it's a commerce, it's a science, it's a medical, you're doing engineering, you're doing management. Music therapy, music brings lubricant, laughter, happiness. So I'm going to sing 2 lines before I close this session, because in India, the night is setting. And my friends, they know me very well. So some of them, those have requested me on the Facebook. I'm just sharing. Just 2 lines. इतनी हसीन इतनी जवारात क्या करे, इतनी हसीन इतनी जवारात क्या करे, जागे है कुछ अजीब से जज्बात क्या करे, इतनी हसीन इतनी जवारात क्या करे.
क्या बात है.
So all our friends world over, wherever you are, people those are starting their day in the morning in Canada, USA, Latin America, enjoy your day, do very well, look after yourself. People in Europe, I'm pretty sure your evening tea time has come up. And people, those had been very kind in entire Southeast Asia, including Dato Ramesh Kodamalji in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, and Karan Thakralji in Singapore, and Professor Narula ji in Bangkok, and Naresh ji in Myanmar, and Majumdar ji in Cambodia. My deep salutations and thanks to each one of you. And then, of course, rest of the world, wherever you are, our deep salutations and namaskaran from India to everybody world over. Live happily, live nicely, look after each other, and your wellness, your mental wellness and physical wellness, both are very, very important. And to my fellow panelists, my awardees,
Thank you.
a great evening is dedicated to you. Thanks for joining us this evening. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
I bow
you.
my head.
Thank you.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Sharma, thank you. Lata,
Thank you
Dr.
very
Mohan,
much.
thank you.
Thank you,
you.
Ashok.
Thank you.
Dr.
Bye-bye.
Mohan.
Bye-bye.
And
Good
Namaskar.
thank
night.
you.
Namaskar.
Good night.
night.
Namaskar. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.